Hey everybody! Didn't see you there. We're playing Abyss Odyssey. I can already see the comments in my mind's eye telling me, oh, Northernlion, it's actually Abe's Odyssey. It's not Abe's Odyssey. That is also a game. This is a game as well. This one's called Abyss Odyssey. If you're not familiar with it, you can be forgiven because it just came out on Steam. I believe it's also out on 360 as well as PS3. Yes, quote-unquote last gen, but I am playing the PC version here. This is an Atlas joint developed by Ace Team, who you may know from Rock of Ages or the Xenoclash games. And I've played some of those games in the past. This is definitely my favorite Ace Team game so far that I've played, at least. I think it's the 4th game that they've made. What is it? It is an action platformer, so you could think of like, Castlevania or something like that, but with roguelike-ish elements, some like persistent character progression, but also like procedurally generated levels and stuff like that. So it's a little bit like, kind of like a Castlevania-y Rogue Legacy to some extent. And I know that people always get bent out of shape when I make this comparison, but there are some Dark Souls mechanics with things like bloodstains and stuff like that. Dark Souls-y mechanics, I should say. So we're going to get started here. This is going to be, my second run that I've ever done, but I've played about an hour so far. The runs can be a little long. So basically the way that it works is that, it's unfortunate that you're not actually seeing my first run here, but basically when you run through the game, you play until you die. When you die, you get to keep your experience that you've gotten so far. That's why I'm level 4. And you get to keep the gold that you've gotten, which is why I have 5,900 gold. But you lose your progress and you have to go all the way back through the dungeon again. So that's where that kind of like Rogue Legacy vibe comes from. I apologize for talking over the dialogue. So I'm going to upgrade my weapon a little bit. We have a hunting sword as of right now. Perhaps I could purchase... Yeah, it seems like a Spanish rapier might be the right decision. It's a better weapon, does more damage. Beautiful, there we go, we picked it up. Forever now, which is great. So that was like 1 run's worth of gold. So we're going to fall down here, and this is how Abyss Odyssey starts. Basically... It's a little bit difficult to describe. It took me a while to come to terms with how the game is actually oriented, but if you watch me play, the little bit that I played of Ascendant, you'll start to understand it pretty quickly here as time goes on. I'm going to do my best to explain the mechanics as they happen as well. So we don't have, like, formal rooms, basically, in the sense that you might have them in a Binding of Isaac or something like that. Oh my god, get out of there. This is not going well so far. But sometimes you will encounter enemy waves like this, and you'll get locked in and you'll have to deal with them. So we have a few different moves. The combat is almost like, this is a weird comparison to make that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers perhaps, but it's a little bit super smashy, if that makes sense. Like, especially the radial shield. Give me a second here to murder this Xenoclash Birdman here. Wow, this is not going well. Yeah, but especially like the radial shield has a real a smash vibe to it. I really want to get that HP, but first we'll get the kill here. I'm using the 360 controller. You can use keyboard and mouse. The controls are a little clunky sometimes, but I haven't let that impact my experience too much so far. Oh. And there's some more advanced mechanics than what you're seeing, but basically the X button on the 360 pad, as you might expect, is going to be our basic attack, and we can do attacks in a variety of different directions. So we can do an upper attack, like a breakdancing lower attack, which is almost like a sweep, and then, like a lunging attack, basically. Now, we also have special attacks, and I don't want to do those special attacks just yet. I can't open that chest, by the way, until I get a key. But I don't want to do those special attacks just yet, because they drain our mana, and we can do something really cool with our mana. Oh, there's a key right there. And what it is we can actually capture enemies. So, careful. We also have a throw. I'll try to use that if I can avoid getting shot at here. Oh, dodged out of the way. The AI can be really annoying sometimes. We can do a parry as well. But it's a little harder to land, as you might expect. So there's my throw, and we can also do a jump and a double jump. But anyway, yeah, once our mana is full, and you can see our mana bar trying to get up there, do the best that it can possibly do. We can do an enemy capture, and what that basically means is that we can actually switch from our character to an enemy, almost like Animorph style, but I guess it's more like Animorphs style. We got some super treasure there. And then essentially that's like picking up an extra life. So if we die as the enemy, then we respawn as the character that we start as. And this also, the game has a really cool kind of like, again, bloodstainy type mechanic, which is really neat. Basically, this takes place in like, in Chile in the late 19th century. And there's like some kind of, basically the abyss that we're in right now, it's causing all sorts of problems, spawning monsters, and the Chilean army or the, some kind of military force has come down to try to stop it. So we're like a demon princess or angelic princess or something. But when we die, we actually take the role of a much weaker but still, functional Chilean soldier, and then we can actually respawn our character just by getting to an altar a little bit later in the game. It's super cool. Now, you can also set checkpoints, but they require camp tokens. I will pick up this curse upgrade. Ignore that for now. We can basically set a respawn token there. We have to buy these camp tokens. I don't think you can just find them. So there's a lot of, like, complicated stuff going on here. Oh, he gave me something. Excellent. I thought maybe that was a clue. There's NPCs throughout the game, and there's some kind of cool stuff that you can get from them. There's like an NPC that sells you... Shouldn't have used my mana there. There's an NPC that will actually sell you experience points, but he does it via, like, sage wisdom. So instead of, you know, just being like, do you want to buy experience points? He's like... Almost like the narrator from Bastion is like, hey kid, want to hear my story? And he tells it all in metaphors and stuff like that. So, as much as I've talked about, like, the fighting game style stuff that happens here, I have found it a little button mashy so far, but I understand, or at least I've been led to understand so far, that that's kind of my problem. This is the end of the level here. Yeah, like, I've been playing it a little bit too, button mashy, and there are some more advanced mechanics to learn. I imagine the parry is probably one of them. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about before we just start talking about the game in full is that these probably won't end up being like traditional, you know, Spelunky Binding of Isaac style structure where one run is self-contained within one episode, because episodes can supposedly, or runs can supposedly be like an hour or two long. So as much as I would like to do that, it's just not practical. So they'll be broken up as it seems appropriate. Into probably like half-hour long sections. But anyway, I don't believe that there is a save game function, so you kind of just got to do it all in one go, which is a little bit of a sore spot for me. Hopefully that's something that'll be patched at some point. Oh, that was so stupid of me. I guess I'll just wait for this poison to run out. I hope you can hear it, but the music in the game is absolutely fantastic as well, and visually I think it looks pretty good, you know. Ace Team has had historically like a pretty unique visual style, and that's mostly translated here pretty well, I would say. And $15, you know, it's a premium price point for a quote-unquote indie game, but I've had a good time with this one so far. Admittedly, I haven't spent that much time with it, but I'm going to try to capture an enemy here. It won't happen right away. The AI is sometimes easily exploitable, but a lot of the time they're really frustrating to deal with. You know you're playing an Ace Team game when you end up fighting these birds. So obviously the grab is what you use to shield break, as in, you know, any fighting game ever. Your friend's just got his block up all the time, just run up and grab, and he'll call you a cheap bastard, but really you're just doing what you gotta do. There are also move cancels. I'm probably gonna die here pretty quickly, but we'll see if we can get our soldier to bring us back. There are also move cancels that you can use. I haven't really found out a way to use these super effectively so far, but they seem important based on the way that the game kind of hypes them up. So, one thing that's kind of cool about the game is that there are these, like, branching paths. Like, I don't know if you can actually see the map. I don't know if there's a button that I can use to see the map right now. But there's various map kind of, like, you are here, shopping mall type things we'll find throughout the game. And normally you just go down, but occasionally you can find, like, branching paths that can open up areas for you to go to later. Now, admittedly, I have no idea how to open this stuff up at all. But hopefully we'll figure that out as time goes on. The other thing, oh, there's a map right there. The other thing that's kind of cool about this game, and I'll explore this entire floor before I move on, so we have a little bit of time to talk here. Ooh, there's another weapon, too. The other thing that's kind of cool is that beating the game is not really the end of the game, so to speak. What they've done is actually something really neat, and they've gated progress behind community progress. So the more times that the community... good, this is actually... oh, it's not the weapon I can use. God damn it, it's a lance. There are multiple characters, which is why we have different kinds of weapons that are usable or unusable by different players. But anyway... what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so the more times that people actually beat the boss of the game, the more content actually gets unlocked. It's kind of a weird system, but I think I kind of like it, if for no other reason than it's pretty unique. So I'm into it so far. It takes some creative ideas, shall we say, and you know, maybe not 100% of them have worked out fantastically for me so far. Well, okay, there's a weapon here. We probably can't use it. Oh, we can? Okay, so it's a curse weapon. I don't know what curse weapons actually do. This looks pretty cool, though. The weapons have different movesets, as you can see, except for that one. Let's configure our skills. So we have 3 different skills right now, and I'm not really using any of them, but you've seen the fireball. I've used that. I'm not gonna... We can choose to either upgrade one of our abilities, or we can choose to upgrade the number of special cancels we can do, which eventually I'll probably do that, but for now I'm just going for, like, raw damage. So, I'm gonna upgrade this, and I'm gonna upgrade our damage again if possible. Yep. So that will make our fireball deal a ton more damage. But we have other choices too, like, you know, this is another move, and we can execute these using Y and a variety of different inputs on our analog stick. We could add defense, so it'll shield part of the attack to make it uninterruptible, basically. Or we could add mana, so it'll actually increase the mana that we earn from the attack, which might be a good thing if we want to get, you know, our mana bar as full as possible. And one of the things I'm going to try to do, and we should have a crack at it on the next section here, is actually taking over an enemy. And admittedly, I've never done it. I know the command for doing it. The game's not very good about tutorialization. Let's look at this. So we're here. There's a boss that we can actually get to if we can move over to Pokuro as soon as possible. That'd be cool. As you can see, the levels have like different degrees of difficulty, which is kind of neat. So you can actually choose your path once you start unlocking these side paths. You can choose to take like a shorter route that is harder or a longer route that is easier. Which, you know, I know where my preference lies right now. In the next episode, I'll crank up the music a little bit. I can understand that it maybe is a little bit quiet right now, but just enjoy it for now. It'll be okay. So we got a new weapon. This is an upgrade. It's usually pretty easy to see how your new weapon compares to the ones that came before it. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but the levels are procedurally generated as well. So even though you can get... We shouldn't be able to use this. This is way too big. Yeah. Even though you can unlock shortcuts and stuff like that permanently, the levels are still procedurally generated in such a way that, I don't know if I want to go through this just yet. Procedurally generated in such a way that you can still access those shortcuts even if the level looks somewhat different than it did the first time you came across them. I'll talk to this guy in just a second, but I wanted to point out that this game has a huge focus on traps and stuff like that as well. So you actually have to not only be, like, very beat-em-uppy, you also have to have a good, you know, kind of platforming acumen to make it through stuff like that. That's where a little bit more of the Castlevania stuff comes in. What do you got for me? You want to sell me a royal rapier, which, to be honest with you, looks sweet as heck, but I can't really use it right now. What do we have? 6,400. So we can buy a health vial, which is basically just a potion, an undead soldier, or we could fight the shopkeeper. I kind of want to fight the shopkeeper. I've never done this before. Shall we? Let's give it a try. If we die, we die. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's cursed. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's easy to see enemy health bars. I think it might be possible, albeit maybe a little unlikely, for us to actually beat this shopkeeper. Wow, okay. I didn't realize he had a move that actually, like, literally lights us on fire. So even though I've talked about mana so far and how I want to save it, oh man, I'm totally fucked. Bad idea, but we'll get to play as the soldier, so it'll be okay. And maybe our soldier can actually help us beat this boss. Oh! Or not boss, I mean it's a self-imposed boss, isn't it? Oh, yeah, there we go, it had to happen. Alright, the soldier's gonna respawn like right here. Now, he kinda sucks relative to the person that we just played as, but we can use him for a while as long as it's necessary to make this work. We have a gun attack, and we have like a pretty weak sword, but they don't have much HP left. Oh, we got a lot of experience there. Alright, so what do we get? We'll take the curse upgrade. We'll take the weapon, which basically we're just picking up that weapon to bring it to our heroine once we rescue her. So we have to go down like one more floor, presumably, and then we'll find an altar to make this work. Usually when you discover enemies, you kind of get locked in an arena with them, so you can't just run away from them. Which I think is smart. Otherwise, I could just run to an altar and it would be pretty difficult to die. AI, again, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it can be a little bit rudimentary, but it doesn't take away too much. And keep in mind that we're on the, like, first area, basically, of the game. Sometimes you can scam them like this. I don't know why they jump into the bullets, but, you know, I'll take any advantage that I can get to try to make this work. Alright, Birdman. Do you ever feel that maybe life would just be easier if someone had actually, like, given you arms? So we have a few special attacks that we can do as our soldier here as well. You saw me do, like, a spinorama there. Spinorama, that's probably not the way it's pronounced. And there's also, like, a drop kick, which I have never been able to use effectively. Apart from that, we have our standard attack, a standard special attack, I should say, which is just a... Oh, that wasn't it. I was trying to do a duck standard, but that actually ends up being another attack. We have our standard special, which is a gun, which is also the special attack of this enemy, apparently. So I'll take you out. Again, levels are persistent, so the fact that I got another level from fighting that shopkeeper is awesome, because I will be able to get another skill point as a result of that. You only gain a skill point once every 3 levels, I think, as weird as that might sound. So we got some trappy type stuff here. I imagine this is probably a shortcut, or an alternate path if we wanted to take it, but I don't really know how, so we're not going to. So compared to a lot of other roguelike-ish games, it is very, very difficult to die, which is not to say that I won't die. I would expect that in all likelihood I will almost certainly die. It's more just to say that, you know, compared to something like a Wizard's Lizard, I'm not going to die in the first, you know, 4 minutes or something like that, because we just have so many ways to, you know, respawn. Oh man, that was really bad. Let's try our dropkick now. Oh, you freaking Centaur lady, so annoying. Get out of here. Enemies do have a lot of HP. They make up for their AI sometimes by being pretty darn tanky. And they do a decent amount of damage from time to time as well. I wish I knew some more advanced, like, fighting tactics that I can use on these guys, but hopefully that's something that'll come in time. There are some Steam guides that I mean to look up, but I wanted to get some footage out while I was still roughly a beginner to satisfy everybody, basically. Alright, so we'll go down to our 3rd level here. So far, so good, but we're in a hard area difficulty, or hard difficulty area here. We should be able to find an altar and bring our main character back to life, though, which is important. So there's spikes on the ground. Sometimes the platforming can be a little wonky. One of the biggest complaints that people have had about the game so far is that movement can be a little clunky sometimes. What do you got for me? Can't believe I volunteered to come down here. How was I supposed to defeat a statue, a giant made of rock? I have this, it's better you take it. I know it may be useful. Alright, so that's just a lot of extra gold. We've actually gained way more gold on this run. Seriously, I can't get up there? We've gained way more gold on this run, despite it being shorter than my first run, than we gained on my first run. I only gained like 5,000 on that run. On this one, I'm already up to over 11. Not totally sure what's over here. This is not the altar where we're going to be able to bring our heroine back, but, oh, careful. It is an altar. If I could just buy a camp token, which is something that I should absolutely do so I can actually respawn a couple of times over the course of a level, that would be good. I dig the platforming elements that happen in the game. Oh, these look like some fairly tricky enemies. Yeah, I think I may unfortunately find myself likely to die here. So this might be one of the few locations where it actually makes the best sense to use the dropkick, because if I can dropkick these jerks into the lava, then they're gonna light on fire and take an awful lot of damage. But the dropkick also kind of sucks. Oh, I got frozen in midair. That's, well, could have been worse, I guess, in hindsight. Alright, now the poison is probably... I have no HP potions. I really should have bought one from the shopkeeper instead of just murdering him. But instead... Oh, yeah, we're gonna fall in the fire and die. So, I actually just kind of suck. That was the fastest time I've ever died. Oh, new area under attack. An earthquake has caused great devastation at Pokuro Park. So that would be our new level there. So we could also play as a different character if we want to. I'm going to stick with, I mean, I unlocked this character. Let's see what their moves are. They got like a two-handed katana or something here. Looks like a bomb. We can't assign any other moves. This is our map. Okay. This is a barrier we can't get through. To be honest with you, I have no idea what this area is. Maybe we can start now in Pokuro? Pokuro, instead of starting in Santa Lucia, is that what it's called? Yeah, Santa Lucia. But I'm going to play as the same lady again, just because I'm familiar with her. But for now, that's going to do it for episode 1, and I apologize that this one was so short, but trust me, they will get longer as time goes on, and I'm excited to play a little bit more of Abyss Odyssey. I don't know how long running this series is going to be, but I definitely want to see it through to the end. Will be a link in the video description below to pick up the game on Steam if you're interested in picking it up for yourself, and of course, as always, thanks for watching. Your support on the series means the world to me. If you liked the video, click the like button, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future, because there will be Abyss Odyssey every day in the near future. But in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.